fun. Let's see. I always seem to be running a week behind of the actual Torah cycle. I know some of you don't. It doesn't really make any difference to you, but that's okay. That is okay. Man, there's so much to learn. Specifically in the Book of Numbers, because it really tracks the root of sin even in the lives of the Israelites. And as it was then, so it is now. Nothing's changed. Absolutely nothing's changed. Everybody thinks, oh, Torah stuff, it's all done away with. Bull. Bull shnikey. As it was, so it is. Because, look, many are called, few are chosen. Now he calls children of Israel out of Babylon, out of Egypt. That's the parallel. But he chose Moses. He chose Aaron. And, he chose many such of the like. Joshua, Caleb. Pinchas, perfect example. Pinchas was given the covenant of peace. Even before it was given. There's a general and a specific. There's a general covenant of peace given with the children of Israel here at the end. But to Pinchas, it was given right up front, very personal-like. Think about that. Many are called, few are chosen. And in the Torah portion of Korach, it's it very deliberately lines that out. Korach came with Abiram and one other. The name escapes me at the moment. I'm having one of those moments. Anyway. He comes to some of the leaders of the house, of the children of Israel, the houses of Israel, and they're like, who are you people that you should lord over us, huh? Hey, we're Levites too, or there's two arguments going on. The one is, hey, you got the choice seats. Who are you to rule over us? Am I not also a son of Levi, huh? Huh? Am I not also capable? So he's seeking after the priesthood. He's wanting more than what's already been given. The guy's already very blessed. The guy is already a prince among his people. But that's not enough. He's not happy. He's coveting other people's position. He's and that coveting leads to envy and strife, and it's ultimately going to end in murder, because what he has isn't good enough. It goes all the way back to Cain and Abel. And at the same time, there's another argument going on. These other sons of Israel are going, hey, you promised us a land of flowing with milk and honey. You took us out of the land flowing with milk and honey, and now here you are. You've led us into the desert to die. This is already after their sin with the spies in the land for 40 days and giving a bad report. So, it's not Moses' fault. And so here we are. It's always somebody else's fault. Somebody always has it better than you. So you're always coveting, always thinking about yourself first, like you're some kind of Like you're some kind of self-righteous guy, huh? How is that any different today? How is it that the Torah has passed away? Rhyming and stealing. How are the children of Israel any different than then? No. It's all about covet means. It's all about living in the flesh. Coveting other people's gifts. Kicking each other in the balls. And it ultimately it ends up in a few thousand, tens of thousands of people dying. And then even after that, the children of Israel rise up again. Okay, God lashes out, smites those who would oppose His chosen, His elect, even from within the camp of the so-called righteous. And even after this happens, then the children of Israel rise up and say, "Oh, Moses is going to kill us all. It's all Moses' fault. Oh, he brought us down. Oh, we're going to die here in the desert. We need to stone these people." And immediately a plague lashes out. Immediately a plague lashes out. And then the chosen have to go out and do an atonement over the people in order to stop the plague, because again they've rebelled. It wasn't Moses who was killing these people, it was the hand of Yahuwah killing these people. And it wasn't because he didn't have cause. Again, earlier he says, these 10 times these people have sinned and rebelled against me consistently. You step aside, talking to Moses, you step aside. I will do away with these people, I will smite them, and I'll start over with you. And then here's this one guy standing up there. Oh, please, don't do that. Look, the people have seen your hand. The people have seen your hand and how you work. And what good would it do if they see you pull these people out of the land of Egypt, and then you can't bring them into the land of their inheritance? Let it not be so. All these times, you got this one guy standing in the gap, pleading your case, reminding our Father of His promises. And the very guy who's standing in the gap is the very guy accused and backstabbed. It's awesome. I mean, it's so poetic and so ironic. The one guy who cared so much is the one guy who takes the most abuse. And they, here's Moses saying to Korah, "What are you coveting this guy's? Is it not enough that you get to carry around the tabernacle, that you're highly favored, that you are the elect? Why are you coveting who is Aaron that you should covet what he has? He's nobody except that he's been chosen." And it comes on back to later on in the book of Numbers, or not Numbers, but Deuteronomy, where Moses is actually Moses is actually, after he's already taken the next generation, and he's telling the next generation, after everybody else has already died in the wilderness, he's calling to mind all of the things that happened in the wilderness before this time, during the 40 years that they were wandering. And he's saying, look, this is what happened. This is what happened to your parents. This is what's going to happen to you if you fall away. And he goes on, and this is so serious that Moses didn't get to go into the land. Moses did not get to go into the land because even he fell short. Imagine that. The one guy standing in the gap loses his spot. You're done, Moses. I'm sorry. You get to lead the people around in the wilderness for 40 years, but you do not get to come into the land because you did not believe me. It's all about faith, people. It's all about faith. And here, I'll just read this one part because it is so poignant. Because even back then, Moses knew. He knew all too well. He says to them, "All right. Well, I know how defiant and stiff-necked you are, even now, while I am still alive and in your midst. You have been defiant toward Yahuwah. How much more then, when I am dead? Gather to me all the elders of your tribes and your officials, that I may speak all these words to them, and that I may call heaven and earth to witness against them. For I know that when I am dead, you will act wickedly and turn away from the path that I enjoined upon you, and that in in the last days, evil will befall you for having done evil in the sight of Yahuwah and vexed him by your deeds." And then he goes on to recite a song just for the time. You don't tell me, yeah, try and use your mental gymnastics to get out of that one. He's not just talking about Jews. He's talking about the whole house of Israel. He's talking about everybody who calls themselves by his name. He's talking about all of his house. And so it is today. You have vexed him by your evil and by your degeneracy. And that is why these evil days must fall on your heads, because he is doing a great work in the earth. And you can take that that verse that I just read all the way to Ezekiel chapter 20, where it starts in the 24th verse about bringing you out of the lands in which you were scattered, bringing you into the wilderness of the peoples. That time is now. And you'll go into the wilderness. But if you can't clean your act up, if we continue to repeat the pratfalls of those who came before, if we cannot read the Torah and learn from their mistakes, we'll die in the wilderness, just like they did. We will die in the wilderness, just like they did. And your children will come into a land flowing with milk and honey, and you will die. Your carcasses will rot in the woods. Tell me this book does not have practical application today. Because I can tell you, my mental gymnastics will flip you like Aunt Jemima flapjacks. Move on.